Here's another highly anticipated video. Here we go. I'm still getting bullshit comments on my Ancestry DNA video, so I can't imagine what I'm gonna get on this one. Anyway, I don't have my dad's account login information, and my dad is a dad, and he forgot his password. So if you think I'm making up these stats, then by all means, you can believe that. But I am not making up these stats, but I am just gonna read them off from what he told me over the phone, because he read them from the page that he was on. I have no point in making a video lying about my father's DNA results. I will say as a disclaimer that these are probably not 100% accurate. So many people are living by my Ancestry DNA results. They're like holding me to the percentages that I got, and I'm just like, wow, people love this. You love categorizing things by percentages and breaking people down. Like, you live for it, huh? But anyway, let's just get into this information because it's pretty interesting and it's different than mine. Wait, let me adjust this real quick though. Okay, so first up, my dad is white. But let's get more specific. Obviously, my mom is the one of color, my dad is not. So he is 28% Western Europe. If you have a map in front of you, or if you've never looked at a map, Western Europe would be like Spain, France, Germany, that whole region. He is 28% Western Europe. I kind of am over Ancestry DNA just because it's so vague. Like, am I German? Am I Italian? Am I Spanish? Western Europe? So specific, really. He is 24% Ireland. Oh. What? He's 24% Irish. So I'm very Irish apparently. I don't know if you guys remember mine, but I had a pretty high percentage of Irish in my results. So a lot of that came from my dad. I think there's still a lot that's gonna come from my mom. She should be getting her results like any day now. So I'm really excited about hers. So excited about hers, I cannot wait. He's 22% Scandinavian. That's pretty fucking interesting. I don't know. It's interesting to me. People always say that I look Swedish or something. And so Scandinavia, if you didn't know, is like Norway, Sweden, and Finland. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty positive that's Scandinavia if I've looked at enough maps in my lifetime. I don't know why that's so interesting to me because I always get that I look Swedish, but his results showed it way more than mine did. The Iberian Peninsula, he got 20%. I got the same Iberian Peninsula, came up for me too, which is basically like Spain and Portugal. Maybe there's more to it that maybe I don't know. Educate me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Iberian Peninsula refers to Portugal and Spain. Maybe some surrounding countries, but those two mainly. What was interesting is that my dad had always told me growing up that we were English, and it didn't come up for my results. I got nothing for that. But his specifically said he was 5% Great Britain. That was grammatically incorrect of a sentence, but you get what I was saying. We were always raised to believe that I was like English or Welsh. So I don't know, I thought that was pretty interesting. Like, that didn't come up at all for mine. Like, that was pretty specific. Mine didn't say that at all. Funny because of all the things that I thought would come up for mine, and like that people always ask, like, are you Welsh? Are you Swedish? Like those type of things I thought they would come up for me, but they came up only for my dad. And then lastly, this is so interesting to me, only 1%, but very interesting, 1% Northwest Russia. Russia! What? Why did that come up? What? Russian? My dad is a little tiny percent Russian. Like, that's so interesting and fascinating and weird and mind-blowing to me. I'm just like, how, Dad? How? Where? So let's compare mine to his real quick, okay? I'm like so surprised about his 1% Russian, and I'm so surprised about my 1% Pacific Islander. How did those things, that's so random. Like, that's something I never saw coming, and like 1% showed up. Like, okay. So 1% Pacific Islander, 7% Iberian Peninsula, 27% Ireland. He only had 24%, so moms. What's up, Mom? And then Western Europe, 42%. He was 28%. We've always thought that my mom had some German ancestry in her, so I'm pretty sure that's gonna be a big chunk of my mom too. I had Africa in mine, obviously, but 20% African. Cameroon, Senegal, Nigeria, Ivory Coast / Ghana, Benin / Togo, and Mali. That's me compared to my Faja. Like I said in the beginning, please don't like hold my family to these percentages. I just think that these DNA studies and stuff like this are really fascinating. I don't necessarily live by them, and they don't necessarily like change my perception of life, but it's just something that I was always kind of interested in and always just wanted to see, like out of curiosity, like what would come up. But after further research and downloading like my raw DNA files, which you can do when you get one of these DNA things, you can get the raw DNA files and you can upload that to other DNA websites that analyze it further, and I get a lot of different results on those websites compared to this website. So there's a lot that goes into DNA and genetics, and I'm still learning, and I still need help discovering what it all means. but I don't necessarily live by all this. Like, I'm 100% human, and so is my dad, and so is my mom, and so are you watching this video. But I'm gonna keep this short and sweet and end this video here. Thank you so much for watching. If you have a hate comment, leave it down below. If you have a nice comment, leave it down below too. Yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye. And that's where it comes into play. That's when you realize and you learn that you need to always have a balance between your alone time and being with another person.